Hello and welcome to the Foxcatcher AFL show. My name's Julian Vallance, joined as always by Bernie Vince. Bernie, let's get into it. We're seeing the season just about completely done here. I want to bring up home ground advantage and how important it is, especially for these teams that are possibly going to be playing in September. And you can see that some teams are going really well. But I want to look at the market expectation as well, because that's the important part. And what it is more or less putting all the prices into that spin cycle when they're at home and then spitting out, well, what's the most likely probability of them actually winning? And you look at these teams, there's a few that are going really well, like a team like Gold Coast who are going really well, but they're low market expectation. So if you were to play the Gold Coast in a first final, say, for example, at Brisbane or someone like that,
yes,
I think you'd go in a little bit more confident than if you had to travel to a place like Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide and even Perth, Fremantle flying there as well. Brisbane's another tough one too. So market expectations is a very interesting stat that people don't often look at. They just look at, let's check the odds, let's check who we think's going to win. But market expectation, you've been all over that this year, and I've found it very helpful. Yeah,
absolutely. And you can see the difference. I reckon the Geelong one's fascinating. You look at that, their market expectation at GMHBA is 80%. Now, unlikely that they're going to probably get a final at GMHBA. They have to play those finals at the MCG. It drops to 60%. And that's why their price for the premiership still sits at $5.50, $6. We've spoken about this. The Adelaide price is now favourite for the flag because we're probably going to get two finals at the Adelaide Oval for them, but they'll probably start no bigger than $1.65, $1.70. Gets them into the GF. That's how it works.
Interesting, though, with Geelong, market expectation at the G, 60%, but they're 3-1. They've actually shot higher than that in expectation. So 75% they're going at, but the market was saying 60. So it's a must-watch coming into those big finals, and especially home finals. Adelaide, geez, they're hard to beat at home, and they've proven that.
Absolutely. Let's get to a player that's had a bit of a breakout year, to be honest. It's Logan Morris. There was no Danaher, and we thought, well, where are the goals going to come from for Brisbane? Well, this guy's just continued to stand up. And to kick 6 against the Pies last week is an enormous performance. Look at the prices you could have got.
I haven't
seen
anything like that. He's kicked over 5 a few times this year too. 125. I wasn't aware of that. That is unbelievable pricing. But as you said, breakout year, already a premiership player. And there's no ceiling on this man. He just keeps fronting up and getting it done.
Let's get to the Hawks road ahead here, because they're a fascinating team, because I love them, because we sort of got them outside the 8 continually, and it's starting to trend towards our way, Bernie. Here are these 3 games. How much are you locking them in for? Because this one coming up very, very soon that we're going to get to shortly versus Collingwood, this is massive, isn't it?
Well, they've got to win 2 of the next 3.
They do.
That means upsetting probably either a Collingwood or a Brisbane at the Gabba, which I find harder. Even though Brisbane haven't been that good at home, I still expect them to win that. I think their season comes down to Thursday night. Thursday night, they win that, they keep it alive, probably beat Melbourne, they make the 8. They lose Thursday. I think it's curtains for Hawthorn's season, which would be very disappointing considering the way they finished the 24 year and the way they sort of got their nose in the trough this year. So just falling away late, which they've lost too many games they should have won, though. They've had that real bad patch in the middle of the season.
This is one, Thursday night. Look how important this is. So to miss the top 8 now, Hawthorn's the favourite out of all those teams in the mix, and they're at $2.10. Conversely, what about the Pies? They've had, they've lost their last 3, I think it is. So now they miss top 4 at $4. Do you want to play in any of those spaces?
It's a very interesting one. I think we stay away from who you think's going to win Thursday night. But if you think Hawthorn are going to win, I'd be jumping on Collingwood to miss the top 4 at $4, because I think if they lose, they've got Adelaide the next week. It's a tough finish. They'll miss the top 4 potentially if they lose Thursday. But if you think Collingwood are going to win, that's when you jump on Hawthorn to miss the 8, because it's a really top 4, top 8 story this Thursday night.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's look at the game specifically and what we think how it's going to evolve. Total point line sits at 161.5, which just seems low, but then you look at the numbers that matter around these two teams. Hawthorn average 88, Collingwood average 90. Collingwood not scoring that well, but they've used the 3rd most players in the comp with 31. The night average of the MCG sits at around 152. The average of the recent games, 173. Would you play in the space?
I'm staying out of this one.
Of course you are.
5-day break, though. Collingwood, have we mentioned that yet? That's very important. So this is a real 50-50 one for me. Market should be pretty even.
Beautiful conditions of the MCG. Dew point's not going to be a factor at all. We're going to be on the overs. 161.5 is too low. If you're having a bet, please make sure it's a sharp one. I think this one's going to be a sharp one. We'll see you very soon.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.